Brake discs or rotors have a specified minimum thickness. It's normally engraved somewhere on the middle of the disc. Disappeared from this disc many years ago, rusted away. But that thickness will be in the manual. Now, my grandfather told me when I was a lad that the minimum thickness was there in case one of the pistons or one side of the caliper seized up, so that all the pressure wasn't put on one particular side of the disc, thus smashing the disc. But just the other day I found another reason, driving down the road, and I lost my brakes. I'm going to explain that in a minute. Now, the thicknesses can be difficult to read. There's often a ridge around the edge, so you can't measure them with calipers, and micrometers very often won't reach far enough into the disc. But if in doubt, change that disc. So there I was the other day, driving down the road, came to a T-junction, absolutely no brakes whatsoever, foot straight to the floor. Now, why the front brakes didn't work is another matter. I would have expected on a dual system to have some braking, but there was absolutely none. Anyway, lifted the bonnet when I got home and found we were out of brake fluid, and the light hadn't come on because the previous owner had taken the wire off. So it must have been losing fluid at some time or other. Anyway, I took this back wheel off just to bleed the brakes and was astonished to find brake fluid all over the place. So I took the caliper off, and I was even more surprised to find that one of the brake pads was missing. How can a brake pad go missing? Just vanished. And the piston was completely got mangled and worn away. How odd. Anyway, on close inspection, it seems that the brake pad has got so thin that it's managed to vanish in between the caliper frame and the brake disc and just drop out, letting the piston come further out to touch the disc. Well, I've never come across it before, and if the disc hadn't become so thin, it wouldn't have happened. And if the steel backing on the Superius brake pads was as thick as it is on the original Isuzu ones, it wouldn't have happened either. So let that be a warning to you. Don't let your brake rotors or discs get too thin. Now, I know exactly when this happened, because I was trundling along with 2.5 tons of pigs behind me in the trailer, and I did brake about a week ago, and I suddenly felt the pedal go down further than normal, or at least I thought I did. Then I dabbed the brakes again and they were fine, so I thought I was just getting old and dreaming things. But that must have been the very moment when that brake pad fell out. The really odd thing is, I never heard any of the normal grinding noises that you listen for when there are brake problems. None at all. Astonishing. Now, how do they get thin? They either wear away or people skim them on the lathe beyond their intended thickness. And I must admit, I have done it myself when I was younger.